everybody. Hi. Hello. Welcome to Pioneering Summer's Demo Day. Thank you guys for coming. I was trying to show you a really fun little video, but our sound is a little wonky on here. So I'm just going to invite everyone to come take a seat. Maybe come sit closer. Don't be afraid. I don't know. It's a test. So welcome to Catalyst. You're going to hear from Mike Biselli, who's the head of Catalyst, momentarily. But this is the first event that we're doing in this space. We're guinea pigs. We're breaking it in. We're piloting and testing, which is essentially what our students have been doing all summer. How about that for a little continuity? I'm going to show you this video, and then Mike is going to come up and say a couple of words. So hang tight. Awesome. Well, thank you guys again so much for being here. My name is Nina Sharma. I'm the Managing Director of Project Excite, and it is my giant pleasure to welcome Mike Biselli to welcome you guys.
Good afternoon, DU. Are the teams ready to rock? You guys ready to go? All right. You want me to get out of the way so we can get after it, huh? Hey, welcome to Catalyst. Really our first big event in our event hall. So thank you for DU for breaking it in. Special shout out to Marty. Thank you so much for your leadership in our community. You guys got a hell of an asset here at DU. Marty, thank you. So real quick, what are you in? What is Catalyst? What the hell are we doing down here in Rhino? First, I'll ask a question. How many of you guys know that you're sitting in one of the top healthcare innovation ecosystems in the entire nation? Right here in Denver. Well, it didn't just happen, right? It took a number of years. I was one of those folks early on around that table back in 2011, watching it grow over a number of years, and I had this crazy-ass idea to build a campus, not just with startups, but with Fortune 100, officing right next to those startups and everything in between. So right next door in Building A, you have Fortune 100, folks like Hitachi. You got the third largest health system in the nation, Kaiser. You got a top 15 health system in the nation on the top, UC Health. We have University of Denver on the 5th floor coming in, right? So when we start thinking, we got 60 plus startups in there right now hammering away. We have an opportunity to fundamentally reimagine this industry, and we're going to do it right here in Denver, Colorado, and we're not going to take no for an answer. This industry touches every single one of us. It's bankrupting this nation, and instead of sitting here and bitching about it, we're going to put a stake in the ground in Denver, Colorado, and challenge the rest of the nation. We are going to fix it, and we're going to do it by knocking down the silos, and we're going to do it together. And all of you at DU, you are an integral part to that. We'll be butter in the house. We have to do better. We must do better. And I believe it's the young minds, all of you, folks like DU, Colorado School of Mines is going to be in here, Regis University, Metro State, and CU and several others. It's all of you that are going to take us into that new future. Because the current stakeholders aren't doing it. We're a $3 trillion industry bankrupting this country, trending to 5 over the next 10 years. I'm relying on all of you young minds to get us back on track. I am deeply passionate about this. There is nothing like Catalyst in the nation. I know that because I received my federal trademark around the idea. We are amped up. We're ready to go. We need your leadership here. We need your new ideas. We've got to challenge every single assumption out there. And I couldn't be more thrilled and more humbled to have DU in this building. Have a great time tonight. Welcome to Catalyst. I cannot wait to see some of these pitches. Get after it. Let's get going together. You guys are an awesome group. Marty, again, thank you for betting on us, being a part of this community. Can't wait to see what you guys create, and we're going to do this together. Thank you. Let's have a great night.
Thank you, Mike. I could never possibly meet that level of energy, but it's
Can't turn it off, you know?
I love it. I love it. It is now my absolute pleasure to welcome Marty Katz to the front. We opted to not have the stage. Marty is our Chief Innovation Officer and Executive Director of Project Excite.
Woo! Thanks, Nina. Thanks, Nina, for making all this happen. So, thank you, Mike. We are an incredibly proud member of the community you're creating here at Catalyst. We can't wait to see what happens from it, but it is going to be big. Project Excite, for those of you who do not know, our mission is to ignite an innovation mindset in our students and our community. We are a cross-disciplinary project, that's the X, that deals with innovation, technology, and entrepreneurship, the ITE. We basically have 3 channels that we deal with. The first, which you're going to see tonight, is around supporting student ventures. The second is around creating the curriculum to help create the next generation of careers in innovation. And the third, because if we're pushing people to innovate and break molds, we should probably do some of that ourselves. The third is, I don't think the chancellor's here, I can use this. We're going to disrupt higher education from within. So what you're going to get to see tonight is the first channel, and that is around supporting student ventures and student entrepreneurship. These students are unbelievable, and the idea is that if we provide them the time and the space and the resources to build their own businesses, 2 things are going to happen that are great. One is they're going to learn a heck of a lot, and the other is sometimes, just sometimes, and maybe more often than you think, they are going to succeed and build something really special. And you're going to see some fantastic examples of that tonight. That's what you're here to see, not me. So let's get on with it.
Real quick before I bring up our first person, or our first team, I do just want to say thank you to all the mentors in the room. This is an incredibly mentor-heavy program. We've had more than, I think, 40 mentors from across the community come in and support these students in their ventures and help them through all of their ideas and pivots and frustrations and joys. So raise your hand if you're a mentor or if you've been a part of that at all this summer. All right, thank you so much. Unique.
My name is Josh Osby. I'm actually a graduate student at DU. And a few years ago, I was looking for a job. I wasn't looking for a new job. I was looking for a job. And it was really the foundation of my life at that time. I was losing sleep. It was affecting my relationships. And I was submitting dozens of resumes, redoing keywords, redoing the application process, with little to no feedback. I mean, maybe 5% feedback over the course of a few months. And I really felt like it was a terrible experience for me. But previous to that, I've been a hiring manager as well. And trying to select the right person for your team that fits within your culture off of a resume is really difficult. And the average job loss, if somebody churns, if somebody leaves within a few months, on average, that can cost an organization $120,000. Training, time, cost, everything else. It's a bad experience for the recruiter, it's a bad experience for the candidate. People hire people. So after I'd submitted a few dozen resumes, never got any response, I decided, you know what, I gotta do something differently. I gotta brand myself, I gotta tell my story in a different way. So I took my MacBook, and I'm not a selfie type of person, and this is a few years ago, really struggled with it. But after a couple hours, I put a few links together, and I submitted the link to 4 open positions. I got 3 phone calls within 24 hours of submitting that link. I landed 1 job, and going through that experience, I was flown to Houston, going into oil and gas industry, and I found out there were 4,200 applicants for 18 open positions. After 2 days of interviews, panels, and everything else, all the time and the cost that was spent on me to be there to see if I was a candidate, I got to the hiring manager, and he looked at me and he said, I knew what I was getting when I invited you down here. I'm wasting tens of thousands of dollars on 99 other people to fly them to Houston, put them up in a hotel, pay for their meals, taxi, and everything else. So I thought, well, maybe I'm onto something. So we created Unique. This is a mobile platform that allows a person to tell their story and to rebrand themselves. They record a video on their 90-second video on their professional background, charities they support, 20 seconds on maybe their interests or talents, another 30 seconds on where they went to school. These little separate videos create one link that they can then share with other people, whether it's a hiring manager, they can attach it right underneath their name on a resume. And the big part of this is when I was submitting resumes, it was going into the black hole. I never knew if it was getting any traction, if anybody was looking at it. And part of the platform is that we want candidates, as they're looking for work, to better understand what kind of traction they're getting, what the interests are that people are looking at. In my case, they didn't really care about what I did professionally because all my keywords matched on the resume. They cared more about whether or not I fit the culture, whether or not my motivators, my drivers, the things that I was passionate about would make me the right fit for the organization. And on the other side, we want to make sure that candidates can share recommendations and actually get video from the people that are recommending them, former managers, colleagues. Unique for recruiters is essentially similar to LinkedIn. You're going to look for filters, you're going to look for the accountant that's got 5 years experience, CPA, but then they can go in and they can look at their actual videos to figure out within the first few seconds, do I want to hire this person? As opposed to picking up a phone, knowing within the first minute, but you spend 15 minutes talking to them, whether or not they're the right fit. Or worse yet, you invited somebody in for an hour interview, face-to-face, you've disrupted a little bit of the culture, you've brought in other people from other departments to interview them, and you know in the first minute they're not the right fit for the culture. So this is a platform for them to better filter through the candidates and bring in the top 3 really based upon how they present themselves, what their story is, and what their brand is. Every given month, there's 78 million job seekers, whether it's looking for a new job or a job. There's always 6 million jobs available. We believe there's 2.4 million possibilities. We also see this as a virtuous circle. As candidates are sharing this with recruiters, they get excited about it. Our primary research shows that recruiters would love to share this platform with candidates. Spoke with a recruiter recently, they have 2,500 candidates in their CRM. They have no idea about their culture or what their brand is. They would push this to them, so the candidates feed the recruiters feed the HR departments. It's a virtuous circle. With that, we believe we can generate, at a minimum, 12 million in revenue every single month. So our next steps, letters of interest, proving the model, and building the team. Part of building the team is funding. So for continued growth, we're looking for $250,000, and that can enhance the platform, the back end. We want to make sure it's an awesome experience, provides value for the candidate, as well as the recruiter, and we want to hire the right people. On Friday, I graduate from the Executive MBA program. I'm not going to look for a job. My mission is to disrupt the industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Just quick little how this works. No Q&A. That's why there's demos. Once everyone's done, visit, talk, demo, enjoy. Pocket change. Welcome.
From natural disasters to climate change, school shootings, Flint, Michigan, #MeToo, the world can make us feel powerless. In fact, just in this room, raise your hand if you've seen something online recently like this, something that made you feel powerless. Now, be honest, keep your hands up if in the next 5 to 10 minutes you actually did something meaningful, actually took meaningful action on that cause. It's not because we're bad people, it's because the tech doesn't exist. Raise your hand if doing something meaningful was as easy as clicking a like button. Raise your hand if you take that action. That's Pocket Change. Pocket Change is the first ever like button that actually helps the world. We've created a technology that you install, add to your Facebook, and then as you're scrolling through, if you see something that makes you want to do something, you can click it. And Micro gives 25 cents to $2 to the most impactful charity tackling that cause at the root. With over 75 causes enabled on the button, you can take action on literally anything, from natural disasters to child labor, clean water, clean energy, ocean conservation, climate change, financial literacy, literally whatever you want. We've analyzed, using our proprietary charity selection process, over 1.1 million organizations using our 22-person team. That's never been done before. But Pocket Change is so much bigger than just a Facebook button. What we are is an action facilitation company. Our goal is to help anyone, empower anyone to take action anywhere on anything. What if the next time you were reading a New York Times article, scrolling through your Twitter feed, walking down the street, or watching the news, taking action was as easy as clicking a button? Be pretty cool, right? Well, that's what we're going for. We're aiming to empower anyone, targeting the moment someone is genuinely inspired and removing all barriers for that action. But the ultimate end goal for Pocket Change is even bigger than that, even bigger than normalizing caring. We're looking to end all major world problems. Now, that sounds crazy, I know, but what we're going for is just to be a part of that solution, and we think we really can do it. And we're going to do it by targeting everything that currently happens in change-making and flipping it on its head. From charity selection, being donor-focused, focusing on micro giving, being cross-platform, removing all guilt from the equation, and having 0 transaction fees. We think it's something that people are really going to love. But 25 cents, 50 cents, that can't do anything, right? Well, except that there's about 100 people in this room. If 100 people clicked once and gave 50 cents, you just saved 19 football fields worth of rainforest. You just gave 51 students reading lessons. You just gave 157 people clean water. That's Pocket Change. The other cool part is that we're not a nonprofit. We're a for-profit business, and we don't take a single penny from your transactions. Pocket Change takes 0%. So how do we make money? Well, we partner with awesome brands. Do you know that Disney in 2017 gave $350 million to charity? Probably not. But what if Disney took some of that money and matched your donations on Pocket Change? Showing you that they care rather than just telling you, and really putting some firepower behind the world's most effective charities. What if the next time you were giving to Save the Bees, Cheerios popped up, and they said, hey, we care too, and we're doubling your donation, doubling your impact, asking nothing. Well, users love it because 2 times the money goes to the causes they care about. Brands love it because it builds valuable relationships between brand and consumer. And we love it because it allows us to focus on people taking action on multiple causes rather than increasing the amount that people are giving. It's also the most effective CSR methodology out there. Current methods really don't work, and I don't have time to get into all of the stats about why. Come talk to us after. But with Pocket Change, matching donations, customers are more loyal, they purchase more frequently, and they increase purchase size, and CSR gifts are more impactful because they're going to such well-vetted charities. So loyalty increases, purchase size increases, purchase frequency, impact increases. Only thing that decreases is the costs. But we're working on changing the world. That takes a minute. Where are we right now? Well, we've got 215 users on the button. In the last 10 weeks, those users have given over 1,000 transactions to 50 different causes. In the last 4 weeks, they've grown 30%. In the next 4, they're going to grow about 200 to 400%. That's because we've locked in 15 promotional partnerships with major charities. In fact, 20 minutes ago, I just got an email that we're good to go. One's rolling out next week. That's going out to 500,000 engaged fans. We're super excited to see what happens from that. So, who's the team? Well, Christian Dooley is our head of marketing. Awesome, he's filming right now. John is our head of product, and then I'm Rain, I'm the CEO. But around us, we have 28 awesome team members doing everything from building the product to running charity selection to posting on Instagram. We've all got a little bit of experience, a touch of an executional track record, and a shitload of passion. We've also got a mantra at the company where we run at problems head on. And living up to that value of transparency, there's been a lot of highlights this summer, but there's also been a lot of lowlights, so I really want to talk about that. One of the major things is we lost our head of product, Apurva, or our head of technology, Apurva. And that was really difficult. We had to go separate ways, she had to go get a 9 to 5, and that was really unfortunate. We haven't cracked the user growth nut yet, at least not virally. We've tried our hand at Facebook ads, that's been difficult. Social media growth, that's been difficult. We will crack it, but it's going to take some time. As hard as our tech team works, there's a never-ending list of deliverables, and we haven't inked any brand partnerships yet. It's been really tricky. We have to get our usage numbers up first, and that takes time. It's a little scary. But the thing that really keeps us going is knowing that what we're working on is bigger than any of us can imagine. Our goal is that we will end all major world problems, and we'll do it collectively by empowering each and every one of you to go out and take action to make an impact in some small way. As Vincent van Gogh once said, great things are done by a series of small things brought together. So I'd like to invite you all to go do great things. Get Pocket Change.
We do have some seats up front if anyone's feeling brave. Just saying, there's a lot of people standing back there. Newton, you're up. After we, yeah.
Hi, my name is Evan Ryerson, this is Kyle Hornick, and we are Newton. Before I get started, I just want to say thank you to all the mentors and administrators at Project Insight. They worked really hard to remove barriers and provided us with a lot of opportunities so that we can focus on developing a solution to a problem. So I think the best way to describe that problem is with a story. So let me introduce Alice. She's the president of a sustainability club at her university. And her goal is to find people around her campus with similar interests. She decides that the best way to do this is to find bulletin boards and post flyers. So what does the process look like there? First, she has to pay to print out those flyers. Next, she has to go to the student center and get those flyers approved. Lastly, since she's the president of a university and taking classes and she's busy, she has to pay her friend Bob $30 to go around campus for 3 hours posting those flyers. So the obvious costs here are time, money, and waste. Being the president of the Sustainability Club, she knows that after those flyers go on the board, they'll probably end up in a landfill. But the hidden cost, and the real cost here, is that it's harder for her to find like-minded people on campus. On the other side, we have Charlie, and he manages the bulletin boards at Alice's university. He has a similar goal of facilitating community engagement and creating a welcoming environment for students. So his responsibilities are to pay someone to approve these flyers and pay someone to remove outdated and unapproved flyers. So again, the obvious costs here are time and money, but the real cost is a less engaged community. That's why we're creating Newton. So instead, excuse me, Newton is a TV app developed on the Amazon Fire Stick that utilizes the already existing infrastructure of TV monitors around campus. And our goal is to create a network of digital bulletin boards. So now, instead of paying to print out flyers and running around campus, all Alice has to do is go to our website, drag and drop a flyer, and then wait. Then the ball is in Charlie's court. He or someone he delegates logs into our dashboard and with a few clicks can approve or decline a flyer. Once he approves it, it appears all around campus without any hassle. Charlie also has lots of access to useful data that will help him optimize the location and all aspects of this network of digital bulletin boards. So I think that's where the value is. Removing this headache and pain, but what gets me excited is all the features we can add on top of that to go above and beyond traditional bulletin boards. As you see here, Alice and other organizations can now post flyers with dynamic content to really capture their audiences. And it opens up a lot of doors for interactivity. So people walking by can pull out their phone and with a snap of their QR code, they can instantly respond to a survey, a trivia question, or even RSVP to Alice's event.
So one of Newton's core values is, like Evan said, community engagement. So we are planning on launching at college universities first, and then potentially expanding to businesses, hospitals, and other community spaces. The Newton uses a revenue model of a monthly subscription, so that's how we plan on making revenue. And so we have 4 people on the team right now. We've got Grant, who's our front-end developer, Max, who's also a front-end developer, sitting over there. I'm a product vision and marketing, and Evan's our back-end developer. So this summer's been really great for us, and right now we're just looking for connections and feedback. We are Newton. Thanks.
Up next, we have Local Brews. As soon as I open it.
Feels so good to be up here. So my name is Drew Haroljak, and I'm going to be talking to you today about something that I am super excited about. And if I do this right, by the end of it, you guys might be excited about it too. And that thing is Local Brews. So what is Local Brews? It is a subscription service beer of the month club that specifically features Colorado microbreweries. So like Birchbox or Dollar Shave Club, each month our customers will get a box of beer delivered to their front doorstep from one specific brewer. I know I'm saying, Drew, beer of the month clubs, don't they already exist? The answer is yes, they do exist. But lucky for me, they're all so bad at what they're doing. They're missing the mark in a lot of ways. A lot of complaints are like the beers aren't actually like local, rare craft beers. Like the packaging is kind of ugly and wasteful. One of the biggest ways I think they're missing the mark is the lack of content. And so one of the big cornerstones of what Local Brews is trying to do is really tell the stories of the brewers. So each month we're going to work with one specific brewery and really kind of do like a mini documentary on those brewers. So how the brewer got into making beer, how they actually started, like the brewery itself, and then obviously like things specifically about the type of beers that we're going to be sending out that month. And the cool thing is it's not going to be some random person just talking about the notes in the beers. It's going to be the brewer himself like telling what he was thinking about and exactly what's going on in beer. And he knows it better than anybody else. And so another thing that's going to be awesome is that the craft beer scene in Colorado is extremely crowded. So there are 383 brewers in Colorado, and there are a lot more that are trying to get their licensing. And so the situation is, it's like, hey, if we can go to this brewer and say, we are going to get your beer in the hands of customers who wouldn't otherwise try it, and let your beer and your story speak for itself, I think we're going to be in a pretty good situation. Another thing that we're definitely looking into doing as part of the subscription box is having like a token included that can go for like a buy one get one free beer or free beer down at the brewery. And so this is again great for the brewery because one, now people are not just aware of their brand, but they're actually driving traffic into the beer, and two, they make such higher profits on their tap house beers than they do going through any channels of distribution. And so it might be the kind of thing where it's like, man, they are excited to be a part of Local Brews. And so that's just another avenue where they can market, hey, we're part of Local Brews this month, and just market to their fans who are also interested in beer. And the final thing that I want to do is I want Local Brews to be like a community. Dollar Shave Club, no one feels like they're actually a part of the Dollar Shave Club. But with Local Brews, it's like, man, I want it to be something where people can actually like feel like they're a part of something, feel the pulse of the city. We're kind of playing around with some ideas of like meetups at breweries and stuff too, but also like really like hyper-local meetups at people's houses where people kind of get to know each other intimately. I just think it could be a really, really cool opportunity. It's definitely going to be hard to do, like figure out the logistics of that, but I definitely think it's something that's worth putting in the effort too. So boom, we are in business. Drew, how are you going to make money? Great question, crowd. So we are basically going to run everything through a liquor store because we don't have to deal with like licensing, we won't have to deal with delivery permits, and so we're going to charge the customer $40 each month. They will get $30 of product. So the liquor store is going to be making their same margin on that $30. With that extra $10, we're going to split it 70-30 with the liquor store. They get $3 for delivering things, and they already have the infrastructure set up for that, and so we make $7 off of each order. Again, this is like a pretty preliminary thing. I think as we begin to get more customers, we start to have a lot more power because we're bringing volume to the liquor stores. So this is just a thing to start up, and then kind of when we can scale, we can be a lot stronger. We also have some really, really cool things that we got going on. So Steve Korski, the head of the Colorado Brewers Guild, said if we figured out how to make the structure work legally, that they would back us. And so we did that. The only way we were able to do that was with our mentor is one of the guys that was the head of growth for Drizzly, which is a liquor delivery app. And so liquor delivery there's a lot of gray area, and so having somebody who already found a way to make it work was just extremely invaluable. Yeah, so that's Local Brews. We're right over there. I would love to talk to each one of you. Maybe have you guys sign up. Just put your email in. We'll let you know when everything's happening. Or just be our friends. Sounds great. Thanks, guys.
Awesome, thank you. Next up, we've got Jeannie. As soon as I pull it up.
the distance here. I talk loud sometimes, passionately. All right, my name is Kirk Scully, and to my right is Megan Kime. We're the co-founders of Genie, a sustainable clothing company. This past summer has been a very big self-reflection period for us. Since we started out, we've had a grand vision, and figuring out the path of how we're going to go and successfully accomplish what it is we set out to do is what we've been struggling with the most. So I'm going to take you guys a little bit on our journey. At the beginning of this summer, we met with our first mentor, Mark Hansen from Topo Designs, and he asked us a question that really changed our perspective. He said, what are you in business to do? Make an impact or be a clothing brand? And at what
enterprises. And we've been incredibly lucky to partner with some of those people this summer and develop some really cool projects. Basically, any company can come to us or group with any digital problem, and we will help them develop that solution with a scrappy startup mindset, using human-centered design and figuring out really innovative ways to fix every problem that a company has. Over the last 2 months, we've been able to do over 20 projects. We've partnered with organizations like the Gates Family Foundation, the Boston Consulting Group, my favorites, the Colorado Media Project, and I shouldn't say this, but Project Excite has been my favorite client. What we do a little bit differently is we really focus on providing how we can engage student freelancers in developing really cool things, testing and using the knowledge that they're gaining, putting it to the test, and providing really affordable, high-quality products for our clients. Over the last 2 months, we've really focused on developing a handful of internal projects as well, including DU Works, a way to get outside companies that want to hire DU students, a really easy way to bring them on, hire them, and get them paid. We also are in the process right now of acquiring the #1 food Instagram in Denver right now, over 31,000 followers. It's basically a way of saying, hey, we want to help Denver build a really awesome food scene. We've got the social media management to make sure it happens, and we're going to really do it. Right now we're in the middle of Colorado Media Project. We're about 3/4 of the way through our prototyping phase, and what we're doing is we're identifying the gap in the delivery of Colorado journalism, identifying really cool digital solutions for doing it, and making sure that Colorado gets the journalism that it deserves. Right now we've got GeoStory, which is delivering local news based on your location, based on the location of people in your network, and making sure that the news you're getting is valuable, relevant, and makes sense. We've got Inspector, which is providing you balanced news from different sides of the aisle, making sure that when you read about legalizing cannabis, you also have the ability to read an article about why legalizing cannabis may not be the best for every single state, or why the problems might be there. We've got Storyhound, Tinder for news. Who doesn't, when you're reading the news, want to use your thumbs? Tinder's the best for some people, but we're not all that lucky. And what you can do is you can swipe through, save for later, read now, pass if you don't want to read it. And the system will learn that. We've got a fantastic team ranging from designers to business people and making sure that we're ready to handle any of the problems that our client has. Thank you guys very much.
And now, Isaiah, you're up.
Hello again, everybody. So, my name is Isaiah Silva, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Automata. Now, I'm sure everyone here has heard of cannabis, and looking at the statistics, there's probably some of you that actually use it. But people are often surprised to find out that 20% of the world uses cannabis in one form or the other. And in fact, at the end of this year, the global market is projected to reach $11 billion. But it's not going to stop there. In fact, in the next 5 years, this market is predicted to grow 7 times to $82 billion in 2023. But cannabis doesn't grow on trees. It grows in warehouses with people working around the clock to deal with all these issues, and it takes resources. In fact, so many resources that it takes up 1% of the nation's energy usage. And 2% of homes, their energy uses is used for cannabis cultivation. Now, beyond that, cannabis indirectly creates so much CO2 that it can be equivalent to 3 million cars. That's more than all of the ride-sharing apps out today. Now, why is this happening? It's because cannabis is growing in the Stone Age. And what I mean by this is 41% of cannabis cultivators use Excel, and 45% use pen and paper. This is ridiculous. Especially for a market size this big, they are on average collecting only 2 data points per day across 2 different variables. And this is costing them $82 of labor costs. People are actually having to go to the plant and observe what is happening and measure and test every single one of these variables. Growers don't know where the money's going. They don't know what's happening. But what if I told you there was a solution that collected 288 data points a day across 10 critical variables for growth and only cost 32 cents? We are Automata, and we are an all-in-one IoT platform for indoor cannabis cultivation. And we help growers increase their yield and reduce their operating costs, helping them grow like a pro. Now, how do we do this? Well, we have a simple and easy-to-use hardware system that has 3 parts. We have the station, which is a cellular networked air sensor that collects all of the environmental data automatically and is connected to the cellular network so growers feel safe that their data is always going to come through. We have the probe, which is a wireless in-medium sensor that can go into any of the plants and identify nutrient issues and root health. And we have the Comet, a machine vision infrared camera that looks at plants like growers do, creating those valuable insights on the plant. Now, the best solution out there maybe offers a quarter of this, and it's 10 times more expensive than our product. Our product will cost $125 for the entire setup. Now, how are we able to do this? Well, we provide our customers on the consumer level with an easy-to-use platform that gives them the most critical part of growing, experience. But that allows us to create proprietary data sets that we can then use to create optimal control systems that really help large-scale growers optimize their growth for every single strain and condition they can deal with. And already, we can determine that this model can save 25% to 40% energy savings. And with this growing market, that is $6 billion to $10 billion just for the energy savings. This is not looking at how we can actually increase yields or improve the quality of the plant or decrease the labor force. So, where are we? Well, right now we've built our MVP, and you can see it over there next to our co-founder, Austin. But we are covering 1,600 square feet right now, and we are also partnering with 2 of the largest hardware distributors of grow technology in the United States. And beyond that, we're talking with point-of-sale companies to create a full seed-to-sale platform so that growers have the full picture. Now, we want you to help us scale. If you know anyone in the industry, if you know investors who would be interested in this, please come see us at our desk. Thank you.
And that is it. Thank you, students. There's been 30 students across these 9 teams, so a giant round of applause for all of you guys and all of your hard work. And that's a wrap. Enjoy, demo all the products, meet all the teams, eat, drink, and have a great time, and thank you guys all for your support.
Thank you, Nina.